everything up. So let's get started. So a few housekeeping rules. All participants need to remain muted. Recording will be sent to you after the webinar. Questions will be submitted through the Q&A button at the end of the session. And follow-up questions with specific questions regarding any of your particular campaigns or any additional questions that you may have, you can send to self-serve-help@groundtruth.com, or any of your platform specialists are happy to help. Now, please feel free to chat me if my internet seems a little shaky. I had to kick my entire family off of it so I could do this. So just keep me updated, please. Okay, so what is Location Manager? Location Manager is a dedicated tool which allows users to create and maintain a custom list of businesses we call location groups. I like to think of location groups as a unique, tailored brand to you and your customer specifically and to your specific campaign. So you can basically create your own brands within our platform. It provides a unified solution for POI collections and allows for as few as one POI to be input into a location group and as many as 1 million POIs to be associated within a location group. A few little points here about when we should use it. I like to use it for CPG campaigns or POIs that are selling or servicing a product brand, so such as Ford Automobiles, or using multi-brands. So POIs selected from different brands. So this is great, and you'll see it in terms of auto a lot with competitor targeting, so different brands, and I'll use an example here later to show you that. Multi-category, brand inside brand, so these are POIs containing embedded businesses, so this is a Starbucks and a Target, those kind of businesses within another business. Associations like NFL stadiums or Broadway theaters, and private POIs, as I mentioned, so this is a POI of interest to a specific client. So this is where you'll see a competitor conquesting and building your own competitive brands for a specific client. And then high streets, so POIs along a major road or within a shopping district. So now I'm going to actually take you through Location Manager itself. All right, so right here you would select Add New Location Group. And it's going to take you into locations.groundtruth.com. So this is Location Manager. This will show you your tenant name, your organization, your account. You can have different accounts, just like in Ads Manager, your accounts will filter in. So you can put different location groups towards different accounts. This is obviously my demo account, so that is why it all looks as such. So to start, we're going to create our own location group. So you're going to go to this new location group button here. You would click new location group, create location group, and here you're just going to enter your location group name, location group description. This is completely up to you what you want to name it. Obviously, I think being campaign related is the best way to go. The max description length, 60 characters, and then the location group name is 35. Those are the two things to keep in mind here, and it's simple as that. So you name and description, and then you would press continue, and it will take it to here and add it onto the main Location Manager platform. So I already went ahead and created a demo test webinar. So we'll go ahead and click into the group, and it will show you the locations that you have within this group. I'm going to show you how to add locations, but I obviously went ahead and added some. So I mentioned auto is a big one to use for different dealerships you may want to target or competitors. It's a great way to get location groups started. So first I'm going to take you through the 3 different ways to upload locations in Location Manager and talk about each step and what I think is the most beneficial. So first I'm going to you can select from our system, upload a location file, which we have a downloadable template, which you can just drag and drop once you've added all your addresses, or you can add your locations manually. So we're going to start with select from our system, and I'm going to go ahead and continue with the auto dealerships. So here you can see you can select brands, categories, and if you wanted to add a location group you had already created into your new one, that's fine too. So I'm going to select BMW, and you can see that it'll pop up in the brands. You could also do a category if you wanted. And you can also see that there was 2 location groups already created involving BMW. So you select the brand you want, press add, make sure to press add or nothing will happen. And you can see that this POI count estimation is 401. Now that's obviously national, so it's going to change if you add on a location filter. I'm going to do Jacksonville, Florida, because that is where I currently am with my family during this crazy time of ours. And you press add, and you can see that that count estimation went down to 2. So that's only targeting BMW in Jacksonville, Florida. So now I'm going to add those 2 locations to the group, and you can edit a location group at any time. And you can see that Tom Bush BMW was just added to our location group, and this location group looks pretty much perfect because everything, the status says blueprinted. I'm going to get to statuses in a second after I go over the last 2 steps. So add locations, the second option is to upload a location file. So here you would click download template here, and that would download to your desktop, as you can see where it just did here. And you would open it up, and I don't want to risk losing the shared screen again, but it is just simply an Excel template where you fill in all of the info here: address, city, state, zip code, country, phone number, and the business name. I do want to note that it's very important to add the exact phone number and the exact business name that you would find on Google Maps, because it's going to match up perfectly with our system in that case. And if not, it may go into something I'm going to go over later, which could be invalid address or location conflict. And we don't want that. We want everything to be accepted so everyone's life is easy and we don't have any issues. Finally, we have add locations manually. One thing to note, to go back to upload a location file. So the best use case here is if you're uploading thousands of addresses, obviously uploading them all in one time is the easiest way to go. And as I said, you just either attach or drag and drop. And up in this corner here where it says 2 locations have been accepted, it'll show you the uploading process when uploading a template. So finally, as I was saying, add locations manually. Here, this would only be if, one, it wasn't already in our system under brands, categories, or location groups. So if you're adding a completely new address to our system, so once again, this is going to be obviously way more manual, as that's what it is. And I would not suggest doing it for your own sake. If you have tons of different addresses to input, that would be a lot of time on your part. So this would be maybe if you had 1 or 2 new addresses. You can add as many as you want, as you see here. Make sure to include that phone number, the correct business name, and here you have to be really careful with your address input because our system may reject it or give a location conflict. So those are the 3 ways to add in a location group. So now I want to take you through the different statuses for each POI. So as you can see here on the top left is accepted locations. That's what we want to see. So that means every address you input is accepted and is either pending review or blueprinted and ready to go. In this particular, because I obviously made a perfect example, everything is blueprinted and would be totally ready for use. So you can see here the status says blueprint. There's no reasons that anything wouldn't be working, so that's why it looks perfect. But I'm going to show you a few examples of what some other POI statuses could be. So these are, once again, all your different location group names, and you can click into each of them. So here you can see that I am doing a QSR. Well, actually, there's a few different addresses in here, but it's just to show you the statuses. So here you can see a Chipotle was rejected. So rejected means that this location is not active and won't be used for targeting or tracking visits. The reason for the rejection can usually be viewed in the next column titled reason. So I actually inputted this twice. So you can see here that we have 1 location conflict. And you can see that it's a Chipotle Mexican Grill. And this will show you saving as a new POI. So this wasn't input into our system. So if we want to completely save it and we're ready to go and get rid of our location conflict and everything looks good, which it does, it is missing a phone number here, you would press save all locations. And now you'll see that that moved to accepted locations. So now the difference in these two Chipotles, you can see that this Chipotle could be having a rejected status because one, the names don't match up. So it's crazy how that one name, Chipotle Mexican Grill versus Chipotle, could change that, as well as the address. It could have some rejected issue that our blueprint saw, so they rejected the blueprint. We're happy to take questions as platform specialists. If you see that you have a address that has been rejected and you don't know why, feel free to come to us and we will help you figure that out. So as far as moving this Chipotle Mexican Grill over from location to accepted, now you can see that the status has gone to radial pending blueprinting. So that means that our blueprinting team is going to either reject or approve. And for the time being, it's going to be radial instead of blueprinting until that blueprint gets approved. Now you can see that this has been both approved, but it's still radial. So this means that the location is active, but the boundaries cannot be completely determined accurately. So the location will be used with a radius of X meters. So in this case, 12 meters. And the exact reason for not blueprinting can be viewed in the next column titled reason. So here you can see exactly why we had to do a radial instead of a blueprint, because it isn't a store within another store. So there could be reasons listed such as that. And then blueprinted is obviously what you want to see. And then in some cases, slight cases, there could be a sensitive status. So that just means that there was maybe a sensitive category. So that would be such as an elementary school, medical facilities that are marked as semi-sensitive. We can provide those semi-sensitive categories after this call if you need. And then I'm going to take you back through a very important step that I think is great to use. So here you see audience targeting, neighborhood targeting, and actions. This is part of our bread and butter with audience targeting, and neighborhood targeting is another great tool. So if you created in this case, we created the auto dealerships and we have 8 accepted locations, we're ready to go. And you want to build audiences based off this. So you guys know that the audiences are bread and butter. So we take 90-day look back data and we can target based off of those people if they've been to that location in the last 90 days. And with neighborhood targeting, something I really want to touch upon, it helps to gain valuable insight, targeting unique geographical boundaries based off visitation patterns. So here it's to note that really it's the dwell time. So that's how we figure out really if they're dwelling there for pretty much all day, and they're coming from a specific place, they might live there. So it's a great tactic to really see a high index for people who have visited and where they're coming from. So it just helps with the visitation patterns, which is great. So the main key here is you have to press build targeting if you want these to be built within our system. So if you were going to go and create an audience targeting campaign and you typed in test webinar location group, this would have to be built in order to find that specific location group. So you're just going to hit build. And now you can see that those are both pending building. And you can see down here on some of my demos, this is the audience targeting is ready, neighborhood targeting is still being built, not built because they have not been selected yet to build targeting. So you must hit build targeting. But one important note, you do not have to wait for the building to be complete to set up your campaign. So you can go ahead and set up your campaign while it's building. And then finally, I want to go back into a new feature we have coming up. So you can see here that we have this view button. and there's an I. So here you get to take a location preview of what our blueprinting team has actually blueprinted. So here you can see the exact blueprint that our team has created for Tom Bush BMW. And you can see that it's obviously doing the on-lot, which is the actual store in green, and then the surrounding parking lot is the orange. You can switch from map view to satellite view. And there we have our BMW in Jacksonville, Florida. So this is a great way to double check the blueprint, really get a visualization of what our team is doing, and make sure that we're not missing out on anything that you think needs to be targeted. So in order to get this, you should reach out to your platform specialist if you would like access to the specific capability in your platform. You probably are not seeing it now because you do not have access. So feel free to reach out to your platform specialist or self-serve help if you'd like to get access to that. Now, I believe it's time for Q&A. If you guys want to ask any questions, I know it's pretty simple. I took you guys through pretty quickly, but it's that easy. And obviously we are here for more in-depth questions at any time. How far can we look back? Because no one has been out for 30 days. I mean, our time does not change. So how far can we look back? Because no one has been out of 30 days. Lol. I appreciate the humor during this time, Tim. So, I mean, our look back data is still going to be 90 days. That's how we have it set. Is there an additional fee for the blueprinting feature? There is not an additional fee for the blueprinting feature to be added onto your account. I'm happy to hang on, and I'm going to obviously stay until 2:30 so if anybody has additional questions. Oh, how to set up location group along highways. I'm happy to go through that, or I think this would be a best question to take actually a demo through a specific highway that you would want to go through with your platform specialist, so we can be happy to help you go through that after this. Oh, great question, and it's something I completely forgot to mention, Barry. I'm glad you asked this. How long does it typically take for your team to blueprint a location? It takes up to around 24 hours. Sometimes can be quicker, but give us a 24-hour window. Neighborhood question mark. Is this in regards to how to set up neighborhood targeting? That is another demo that we could take you through later on. It's one of our options for targeting at the beginning. I can, as far as restrictions for medical facilities, I'm happy to take that question to my team and get the specific answer for that specific law. I don't want to give you the wrong answer right now. I want to make sure that I get those restrictions completely correct for you, so we can get that after this. Blueprinting neighborhood. So that is a blueprinting team question. So basically, we are finding those areas of the people that have come to that store and seeing where they're also dwelling. So basically following those specific audiences to see where they're coming from in relation to the store. So that's how they create neighborhood blueprinting info. And we have one sheets on that I can totally send over after this as well. It's more in depth. Happy to share the med info with everyone. That is a great question. I'm not sure if we can download the contact's name specifically, unless you mean that business name. But as far as the actual people, I do not believe we could do that. Okay, I will get everyone this blueprint neighborhood info as well, because we have great one sheets on it. And people find it super interesting because you obviously want to know where these people are coming from. So where those dwell times are, as I said. I will look into this last question, George, and we can always reach out to your PS team for these in-depth questions regarding the mobile ad IDs. We do have some restrictions regarding these, so we can look into this as well. What's my take on ad rates since Corona? I mean, I find that Corona is not going to ruin every ad. There's always a way around it. I loved that I had a restaurant campaign not long ago, and we switched completely over from their normal trying to drive to in-store traffic, because obviously that's our bread and butter is visitation, and we did drive-throughs, and they're selling to-go drinks and such like that. I mean, people are finding the most creative ideas to keep their ads going, as well as just being creative during this time in general. So I think ad rates since Corona are going to be. And George, to answer your question from earlier, we do not provide mobile ad IDs that are included in the location group audience. So that's something we're going to look into after this call. So we're almost out of time. So if anyone has additional questions, I hope that this was beneficial for everyone. I hope everyone's staying safe. Their families are happy, safe. Is there a standard outperformer that you've seen crushing it? As far as verticals crushing it, or obviously I can't go into client info, but I definitely think that residential targeting's been a pretty good one. Somehow, some way, they're not actually doing visitations, but just doing brand awareness, and just overall brand awareness plays right now are huge. So I think that navigating your strategy to brand awareness and accommodating towards how things are right now with Corona is the best way to go. I mean, I see everybody doing different things. I mean, you see commercials everywhere that are, we're still open, we're doing everything we can. So, I mean, don't give up on don't let your clients get defeated, and don't give up on them for sure, because obviously there's always a way around it. Thanks for your input, Tim. I appreciate all the good questions. So I guess we're in our final minutes, so I'll let everyone go on with your day and stop listening to my voice. But I appreciate everyone logging on. We had a great attendance rate today. And obviously, if you have any questions, the GroundTruth team is here. We're not going anywhere. Reach out to your platform specialist. And I totally appreciate all of you signing on.